Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I'm a full-time sketchbook artist and I use a lot of mixed media in my work. Today I'm showing it was a pretty big haul. It doesn't look like much, but art supplies are expensive. So I've got quite a lot to show here today. I've got some new watercolours. I've also stocked up on some supplies, some of my favourites, ahead of my mixed media art retreat with my friend TJ next month. So there are a few supplies in there, just to have a few spares, and really excited with some new ones as well, which were based on TJ's recommendations. So there's quite a lot of paints, pencils, Neocolors, and palettes to show you. So let's get into it and I'll show you what I bought. Okay, let's start with this one first. So this is the Art Toolkit Pocket Palette. Now I was very kindly sent this by Art Toolkit and I'm really excited to give it a go. I'm actually going to be doing a whole video on this, which isn't sponsored. They just kindly sent this to me because I really wanted to test out using watercolour plein air. Now if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I am heavily in my watercolour journey now, especially with some of the new bits I've bought. This is my current palette. And I just wanted something a bit lighter weight to take with me plein air. Over on Patreon we're doing woodland theme this month, so I feel like this will be a good one. And I'm going to fill this out and share that with you next week, hopefully. So I'm excited to give this a go. I'll show you what it looks like. It comes in this sweet little drawstring pouch. And they've actually given my followers 10% off until the end of April. So I'll put all the information on screen, but it's this really small little business card sized palette. It's teeny tiny. Comes with these metal pans in there. So I'm excited to give this a go. We're gonna see how we fare, but as I said, I will be doing a video on that. I just need to try and work out what colours. I'll be filling it in that video because I want to try and decide and do a limited colour palette. It's going to be specifically for on location, so really excited for that. So keep your eyes out for that on my channel. And then I did do my first ever purchase from Rosemary Co. So they create brushes, and there was one that was really recommended by Liz Steele. I talk about her quite a lot, especially now I'm using watercolours. I found her blog super helpful and I'm also part of her Patreon. And she highly recommended this brush, which is the 1/2 inch Rosemary Co Sable Blend Dagger Brush. So my first ever dagger brush and my first ever Sable Blend brush, because I usually just use any brush I can get my hand on, but this was an investment for me and I really want to take really good care of this. So excited to give it a go. Liz uses it really effectively in her work and I think it'd be really helpful to get some really fine lines. So I'll put some footage on screen. I'll be doing swatches throughout this video and also showing you how this works. But I want to really take care of this brush because, as I said, I don't usually spend much on brushes, but I decided to for this one and I'm excited to see the differences. So the other thing I bought from Rosemary Co is some Art Toolkit pans. So as I said, Art Toolkit did send me the pocket palette, but I wanted to adjust some of the pans in here. So as you can see, these ones come with tiny little pans and I wanted some different sizes. So Rosemary & Co do sell Art Toolkit things if you're here in the UK. Art Toolkit is based in the US, but Rosemary & Co are here in the UK, so it's a really good place if you are interested in their stuff. So I actually only bought 2 things from them. This is the 8 stainless steel watercolour pans, and I can adjust these and put them into my palette. So there are 8 in here. These are the larger size, so not the teeny tiny ones that are in there. I just feel like they might be a bit too small, and I wanted a few of these bigger ones. So these are the ones that I've got, and again, there will be a whole video about that palette, hopefully coming soon. So that's everything that I got from Rosemary & Co. And now let's move on to my Jackson's orders. Okay, so as I said, it does fit into this small box, but there is quite a lot in here in terms of price. But like I said, I did want to get some more bits for my art retreat and also to extend my watercolour palette. So I have done a couple of videos on my channel. As I said, I will be doing a new one because I have bought a new palette. I was already finding this to be a little bit small because I do want to really extend my collection and I got so many good suggestions from you. So I bought this from Jackson's. I'll leave a link to everything I bought down below in the description. And I've seen that Omar Wynn also has a palette of this size and I think this will be really helpful for me to add in more colours. So what I'm going to be doing, which is the same as I did for this one, is taking out the rails, which again is a suggestion from you. Take out the rails and then I'll just have it flat in and you can just have it come out like this, which means that it's really easy to clean. So I'll be doing that and taking these out just because I want to be able to fit in a third row on this one. So I'll be transferring those colours and adding new ones into here with some of the ones I've bought today. And I'm just really excited. I'm definitely in a privileged position to be able to buy these new watercolours and also to use such professional grade watercolours, especially as a beginner. But obviously being an artist is my job, and this is a journey I'm really excited about. So really excited because I am learning a lot about colour mixing whilst using my watercolours and learning a lot about how I use my mediums in general. So I'm really excited to put this together, and I will be doing a video at some point with my updated palette. So as I said, that was from Jackson's, and then let's see where to start. Let's go with this one. They do use recycled packaging, which I like, but there's some gouache in here. So I've got 3 different brands here. We've got the Rowney Designer's Gouache in Payne's Grey 065 and a Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache in Opera Pink. Really, really excited about this one. This one is definitely influenced by TJ, who uses a lot of Opera Pink in her work. And then another brand as well. This is the Holbein Artist Gouache. Now, I've only ever used the Holbein acrylic gouache before, not their actual like traditional gouache, so I'm excited to use this. This one is in Szmal blue. This is a colour I really love using in Neocolors, so I'm excited to have it in gouache. So really happy to have these in my collection. I'm really not fussy with brands. I really like the Designer's Gouache from Winsor & Newton and Rowney, and excited to test out the Holbein as well. So we've got those. I think we've got some more down here. Just the one more. This is the Rowney Designer's Gouache in Olive Green. Another one that I don't have in my collection, but excited to give it a go. I usually use chromium oxide, so I'm going to be testing this out in the next few weeks. So I think that's all the gouache. Here's my little haul of watercolour at the bottom, so let's do that next. So we've got a Holbein Artist watercolour. This is in leaf green. This is much brighter than I usually go for, but I think this will be really good for mixing, and I think this will be really helpful for the Portuguese landscape. And again, as I am doing woodland this month, I think it will just be really nice to have a brighter green. So I think this will be helpful to mix in with other colours, but also to use as a really fresh green in my work. Then I really have gone for a mix of brands here. So I'm really not brand loyal. I'm open to everything. But I just wanted a mix of colours. So these next two were recommended, actually quite a few of these were recommended by you in my recent watercolour video where I was talking about my palette. So this is the Quinacridone Magenta by Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolour. This is just a 5mm tube, but I think this will be really good to have this shade of red in my palette. It's always really helpful because a lot of you have a lot of watercolour experience, so really, really do appreciate it when you suggest colours for me. And then I've got a Horadam Aquarell by Schmincke. I do have a couple of Schmincke colours in my palette already. This one is the olive green yellowish, which looks like it's going to be a really lovely green. As I said, I will be putting some swatches on screen so you can see what these look like, and I'm excited to put them into my palettes. Okay, and then we've got another Schmincke. This one is a Brilliant Opera Rose, again influenced by TJ. I won't be using this on the retreat, but I do want to try and use a bit more pink in my work, and I think this will work really nicely alongside a lot of greens. I really like that combination. Usually I do more of a pastel pink, but I'm excited to try it with this really bright rose pink. And then I've got 3 Roman Szmal paints. When I was using my watercolours quite a lot in March, I really was missing a turquoise, and that's a colour that you can't really mix up. So I decided to buy this one, which is Cobalt Teal by Roman Szmal. I really like the lavender colour I've got with this paint, so I really like the consistency, which is why I went for these 3. And Jackson's had a watercolour sale on, so I wanted to make the most of that whilst it was on. So Cobalt Teal. And then I got 2 more yellows, again recommended by you guys. This one is Nickel Azo Yellow, so really nice warmer yellow. I think this one is the mid yellow, kind of gold, and again I think this will work really well with my work. And then I've got a cooler yellow here, which is Bismuth. I don't know if I'm saying that right, it might be bismuth, but this is a light cool lemon yellow, so I think that would be really good to be able to complement my other yellows, and again to have really bright greens in my work. So I think that will be really helpful. And as I say, I'm learning a lot about colour mixing, so it's nice to have a range of yellows, so both cool, warm and mid in my palette. So those are my watercolours there. And then these are my pastels and pencils. So let's take a look at these. So some of these I already have and find really, really useful. So I am using extras in my collection. These ones are all Caran Luminance, which I absolutely love. Really love that brand. Love the softness, and definitely have built up a collection over many years, which I've slowly built up by buying odd ones here and there. So we've got Ice Blue 185, a really nice sort of darker turquoise colour. It's definitely cool, but this will be perfect for like pools and seas. The Neocolor Blue 671, a really nice bright turquoise that I do use quite a lot. Really like how this works with lots of other colours. Then we've got the Green Ochre 025, definitely a warm green. It comes up quite orange on camera, but I really like this one. Again, I use green a lot in my work, so it's always nice to have a range of different green shades. Terracotta 044, this gets quite a lot of use in my collection. I really like how this works, especially in my nature work. And then lastly, Buff Titanium 801. I don't have many light colours in the Luminance, so it's nice to have this off-white. I don't know how well that will show up on the paper, but I'm going to try and show swatches for all of these. Those are the Luminance pencils, but I also got the Oyster LF1 in Derwent Light Fast. I think it's helpful to have some more light tones in my collection. Okay, now lastly onto the Neocolors. This is like a little bag of sweeties for me. Look at them all in there. So nice. I'm pretty sure I bought these when they were on offer as well, because there's quite a few here. And I do find, oh yeah, I think they had a Caran sale, so I stocked up on the Neocolors. These were in 2 separate orders, when Jackson's had a watercolour sale and when they had a Caran sale. So all of the Luminance pencils and the Neocolors were bought on sale, which definitely helped with the price. Okay, so there are definitely some here that are new and a few that I use all of the time. So I'm just sort of restocking my favourites. So we have got the Salmon Pink, which again, love this with greens. Use this a lot in my landscapes as like a pop of colour and a highlight tone. Same with the Sky Blue. In French it's Blue Lavender, which I think is much more apt for this colour. This is very similar to the Smoke Blue, so I mentioned about using this quite a lot, so I think it will be helpful to have in the gouache as well. But really love this. I just think it goes really nicely with so many things, just as a pop. Then I got Chinese Green. Now this looks very similar to Lemon Yellow, but it is different. So I'm excited to see how this looks in comparison to that one, because I really like using this on top of like a darker green as a highlight tone for putting lines for fields and things on top. So I got 2 of those. And I also got 2 silver greys. So I did double up on colours that I don't have because I will be using these in the retreat. So we got 2 silver greys. I really like this colour because it's kind of in between a light grey and the grey that I've got already in Neocolors. So it's nice to have a tone in between there. Really nice and light. I'm always after more natural tones, so that will get a lot of use. Then I got another orangish yellow. I use this quite a lot in my work, again, especially because we're coming into spring and summer up here in the northern hemisphere. This is just a lovely tone for flowers and just for creating those brighter shades in countrysides. I really like how that works with my usual colour palette. Then I got 2 of the Saffron. So this is similar, this kind of reminds me a little bit of an orange I already have, but this is a lot warmer. So again, another really nice colour. I mean, you can see them working together already. I really like these colours together and excited to use that in my work. Then we have a dark olive, one of my most used Neocolors. I always recommend this one along with the light olive, which I have plenty of, but I decided to get another dark olive. So really nice shade of green there. This one is another one that I have in my collection already, but use quite a lot. This is Chromium Oxide Green. As I say, I do use that a lot with my gouache, so it's nice to have it in other mediums as well. Lastly, we have 2 other colours. So we've got a white, which again, I use all the time. My ones are now like halved and in little nubs because it is a really useful colour to layer on top of other things just to push things back, and also to use in skies for clouds and things over a blue base. So white is a really useful colour. And then a Van Dyke Brown, which is a really nice, it kind of looks like a cool brown. We'll see how it looks when it's swatched. But again, it's really nice to have a dark tone. So I think having a mix of light, mid and dark tones in your mediums is really useful. And so I'm excited to use that, especially for woodlands this month. It will be really useful for my trees. So let me lay out everything so we can see it all together. And that is everything from my haul today to share with you. So a real mix of watercolours, gouache, some palettes, some Neocolors and a brush as well. I love getting new art supplies. I'm really excited to use all of these. As I said, there's a mix of new things and favourites as well, so a really nice selection. I'm excited to show you these throughout my work, and I'll probably do an updated favourite supplies eventually because I have bought a few new supplies that have really come into their own. Actually, I have one pencil which I took out of this, which is this one, which it's already in my pencil pot because I've used it quite a lot. This is the Chocolate 6600 by Derwent Drawing. Started using it all the time, especially because I am doing a lot of trees this month. So he snuck out of this haul, but he was in this haul. And this is one that I've used a lot. So again, another dark tone, but I really like this one. So that's getting well loved already. I think that's it. I don't think any others have snuck out, but I hope you've enjoyed this haul. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. If you've got a few colours here that you recognise and use a lot in your own work, then do let me know. A big thank you to my patrons. Their support helped me to buy art supplies and continue my practice, especially to create free videos here on YouTube every week. I hope you enjoyed, and I will speak to you next Sunday in my new YouTube video. See you later.